I think it's interesting that you said pandering, and I mean, I don't know another word for it, but it's like they pandered to their specific audience, and it was different than anything else. Like I feel like when people normally would say pandering, like it's playing into like the extreme norm of everything. So like I think that they did try and like mold around their audience, but like as much as I don't know what else to call it, I just feel like pandering has like a negative connotation to it. But I don't think that it's necessarily like a bad thing that they did that. I think it's just that's how shows should be, is what do the fans really like, what works, and let's give them that. I mean, that's why we keep watching the show. That's why we're still excited for more seasons and more things to come, is because they give us what we want. I don't know. I feel like it's almost that simple.
When did it start being only about the fans, Donnie, huh? When did it stop being about the truth?
With this show, I think from the beginning.
Is there any truth to the show?
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't know.
The whole crux of the show is don't be like these people.
Really? I thought it was be like these people as much as possible, which is why I have very few convictions.
So the gang's moods and mentalities and convictions or lack thereof. One popular interpretation of these is that each member of the gang is their own deadly sin, or some people have argued that they are all 7 deadly sins together. But on this watch through, I noticed that I'm noticing more. Each member of the gang is their own like exacerbated mental illness. You know, like Dennis could be like narcissism or full on sociopathy. Charlie's got some BPD tendencies. Whatever starstruck delusions D has, whatever's going on with Mac. I don't know. I think I like that explanation of the gang more than these guys are classic characteristics of deadly sins.
Was that a fan theory?
I don't know if I'd call it like a fan theory, but I read a couple articles kind of saying that.
That's
I
good
guess
stuff. It's like, okay, this episode has something to do with Catholicism. All right, what else is Catholicism related? Oh, 7 deadly sins. Okay, maybe each one of the gangs is the 7 deadly sins. Wait, there's only fucking 4 of them?
five.
However fucking many there are. I don't know if D is really part of the gang. Just
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested to say if they really picked 7, like if it was them 5 and then the waitress and maybe another 7. But
yeah,
like,
I was gonna recommend Cricket or whatever, but it's more along the lines of like they're also each of them is every sin.
I was about to say, I feel like
there's nothing redeemable.
But and in almost every show or every episode, I feel like you could find the 7 deadly sins in people or in that show. Granted, a lot more in this one because they're fucked up people, but like, I don't think it's necessarily meant to just be around that, or that was a theme going into them creating this show.
Because depending what you pull out of each character, you're gonna get a different story. Like when Mac gets fat, sloth, gluttony, that stuff. You're pulling that out of him. But greed, you can get episodes where Mac is the greedy one. You know, they don't really match any specific sin, I guess. They're all I think I agree with the one where they're all the sins.
Like I said, I think that's just more of a trait along them being just quote unquote bad people in general. But yeah, no, I mean, I can see it. What are you doing?
List the 7 deadly sins. Go.
You know, greed, sloth, gluttony, the other ones.
The other ones.
Tax season.
Tax season.
Oh, okay.
Procrastination. The Jews. Just a couple of Jews. But no matter how you interpret it, this is what happens when you don't seek help. So, you know, if you see some of yourself in the gang, maybe be worried about that.
just slightly.
I thought you were going to say you start a podcast based on a TV show.
No, that's when you can't come up with your own content. So I kind of wanted to touch back there where Mac and Charlie are kind of the duality of priests that you see nowadays. And I guess if you want to bring Father Mara Cricket into this, he's a third version of it, but Mac is like the traditional Bible thumping, beat you with a ruler priest. Charlie is very clearly like supposed to be Joel Osteen or some other televangelist sack of crap. And you got Father Mara, who is quote unquote normal.
Dressed,
oh yeah. He is so vibed out in this episode.
You can't just go back to be a priest? You didn't double check that?
I'd love to see the scene where he left, where he's like, guys, I'm leaving the cloth. I'm going to pursue this woman.
Dude, but is that a real thing? I hate to be the one to like call him out on like something as fucking stupid as that and like something as small, but like I feel like if you literally just left being a priest, unless you were like, yo, fuck you guys, fuck the church, I'm out. Like I feel like if you just left for a day and you're like, no, actually, like I think I want to do this again, like,
hey, I made a mistake.
Yeah, like don't you think like they'd let him back unless he really like left on that bad of terms? Like I don't know.
She rejected you, didn't she, bro? Yeah, she rejected me, but don't talk to me about it.
Yeah, granted, don't get me wrong. I guess that is a thing if he was leaving the church to say like, hey, I'm going to get married and whatever. But there's nothing wrong with that, right? So I don't know. Like, what is?
I'm taking these communion wafers. Y'all are never gonna see me again.
It's me being a stickler on something that really doesn't matter, but like, it's just
I don't know
like,
the rules.
Yeah, I don't know
either.
I'd honestly imagine if it was a real scenario and it wasn't in television and someone went up to their, I don't know, bishop or whoever runs a group of, what's a group of priests called? A pagel? Whoever runs the pagel.
A registry.
A registry? Jesus.
A registry.
Jesus.
They'd have like a real long conversation and it would be a days-long process.
I was gonna say my only argument is he came day of, so he definitely did not give 2 weeks. I don't know how the church rolls with that type of thing, but like my HR is not cool without that shit.
Dude,
so
you left us on the hook for this Sunday. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. Like you got to give us 2 Sundays in advance. Like we got nobody.
He probably could have come back if he didn't. Oh my God, if he didn't agree at the end of the episode to teabag Dennis. He could have probably just like waltzed back there and they're priests. They forgive. That's their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying the priest drew a line about teabagging people?
No, I'm saying that if Cricket wouldn't have at the literal last second of this episode gone, yeah, let's teabag him. If in the alternate, children? Oh Jesus, we'll not get into that. But if he would have instead gone, no, screw you guys, I'm going back and gonna ask to get my job back, I think they could have let him back in. I think Cricket.
Can I be the one to, can I take the jump and just realistically just now say that the gang didn't ruin Cricket? Like Cricket did this to himself? Because he for sure could have gotten, I arguably think he could have just gotten his job back and been okay. And for whatever reason, he thought he didn't. So he committed to not going back or not trying.
Each person that the gang does this to, like the waitress, Cricket, each person that they do this to, kind of Artemis, they have like these cracks in their foundation that the gang just somehow just breaks open with a fucking sledgehammer.
Say, deeper later on, we know that Cricket is not the quote unquote like successful kid and not the one that his dad looks for and stuff. So like he probably is quick to get.
He's probably got his own issues. Yeah.
So he probably immediately was like, "Oh shit, my life's over." And once he started thinking that, like, regardless of what he could have done, it was just like worst case scenario happened because that's what he was expecting and let happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, therefore I don't think the gang ruined him. We're throwing that out there. Cricket's fucked up his own life.
In this essay, I argue that everyone who's been ruined by the gang really ruined themselves.
Ooh.
I'm on board.